Right. Please, student, right? I know that not many reading, listening to the audio that I sent. You just open the message and then you just leave it like that. So those who are listening to the audios, like Afif, I don't know, and Siti, I think, and there is one student, Cik Wan. If you have any question, you can ask uh, during the presentation. Now we have this Heisler chart, right? In the book, they are using this table, right? So I'm not going to use the table. I'm going to use the chart. They give you almost the same results, right? So in the examination, I don't mind. If you want to use table, also okay. You want to use graphic curve approach is also okay. But there is a situation where you cannot use the graph. You need to use the tables, depending on the what information that available to you, right? Let's say if you don't have information about the byte number, you can't use one of information that the fluid temperature, maybe you don't know, maybe the Fourier number is so many variables that you don't know, so you can't use the chart. You need to use a table, something like that. So you have to try to use both. I think the graphical method is much faster. So you have all the information there. If you have that information, then you can directly use the chart. Use this approach first. If you find you cannot solve, immediately switch to the tabulated approach. So from this figure, there are three models of the heat transfer system for one term approximation. One using a plane wall, and then long cylinder, finally a sphere. And you can only model the system in these three geometry, right? So for the egg, we're going to model it as sphere. So we're going to use the Heisler chart for sphere. And for Heisler chart, there are two graphs. The first one will be the midpoint temperatures, right? And the other one will be the temperature at any location inside the sphere. So what you see just now is a figure at the right bottom. This is a two-dimensional representation of a sphere, right? So in the test, if I ask you two-dimensional, so this is the drawing that you should produce. So from this figure, we need to find the center temperature. We know the information, the initial temperature, the fluid temperature, and the temperature. So temperature at the center point, we know already that. So we can calculate the non-dimensional temperatures. And then the byte number. So we need to find the property of material. We know the value of R naught, the radius, maximum radius, and then heat transfer coefficient. We need to find the thermal conductivity. So from the book, it says that the most of the living thing, right? Living thing, normally their composition is mainly using water. So I'm going to use what we have in the books so that we can make a apple to apple comparison. And then for the Fourier number, we need to put the thermal diffusivities. If you know about thermal diffusivities, we know about the specific heats, we know about the mass, I think, the density, the CP, and thermal conductivity. You can calculate the thermal diffusivity, and from that information, we can calculate the time directly. Right. So we have this information there, right? I also add the thermal conductivity and thermal diffusivities with the characters length for 0.025. With that information, we can calculate the Biot number, and the inverse Biot number will be 0.021. And if you look at the Heisler chart before, we don't have 0.021, but we have the information about 0.05, and then we have 0.1. So our value, the inverse by number will be between 0 to 0.05. Now, if you look at non-dimensional temperatures, we have the final temperature that we are interested in, which is 70 degree. The initial temperature 5 degree and the peak temperature 95. So the non-dimensional temperature is 0.27. And if you look at the Heisler chart, 0.027. 0.027. So we have 0.2, 0.25, which is not labeled, and then 0.3. So the closest will be 0.25. Right. So we have this Heisler chart at the midpoint. So there are 3 lines there: the red color, the blue color, and green color. So we don't have the value of 0.25 actually, but this is the closest one that we can get. So I'm going to use the resolutions, what the resolution have. So, and then we project the line 0.25 and intersect with the byte number 0.05. You can also take 0. No, there is no problem with that. So you find that 0 is close to, but we have a range, right? So we have a range. So for 0 and 0.05, they are almost, there is not much difference between them at 0.25. And then we projected to the bottom, we get about 0.25 of the Fourier number. So we're going to use this value to estimate the time required. Right, this is the calculated values, right? So we have Fourier number approximated at 0.25. Fourier number don't have any units, right? And the time actually 1034.8 seconds. And if we want to convert it into minutes, so it's about 17.24 minutes. So it's better for us to make comparisons with the tabulated method that you can read, right? And I also mentioned about the equation that I use for in the Fourier definition, Fourier number definition. We have thermal diffusivity time period from dipping the egg, right, at T equal to 0 until it reached to 70 degree Celsius at the midpoint. Right, so we have a solution from the books, right? So the byte number is 47.8. Similar what we get, and then we have these the coefficient for the first term in the infinite series for the solution of Fourier byte number, and this one for sphere, lambda 1 is 3.07, and the coefficient A is 1.99. And the third equation is the vertical axis, right? And all the labels in the vertical axis come from this equation. So for 0.27, right? So 0.27, right? So we just in the Graf-Heisler chart, I'm using a 0.25. And this one is about 0.27. So the Fourier number is 0.209, but the one that we use when we select the non-Lewisian temperature is about 0.25, which make the value of Fourier number is further on the right. So we get 0.25. This one is about 0.2. And from that, the time is 14.4 minutes. So basically, using the axis chart is not very accurate. We are based on the resolution provided in the graph, right? And using a table is much more accurate because we are based on equation. The graphic chart also based on equation, right? But they're not going to plot everything there. They just select some values there. I also don't know what are the basis of having those numbers. So normally we're using it as an approximation. Now, if you underestimate the Fourier number, we expect that the non-Lewisian temperatures, and then we over predict the inverse number, it will cause the Fourier number become so large compared to the tabulated approach.